This video is of a Hickman action that's out of a Knabe piano. And I wanted to make this video to demonstrate the motion of the components associated with this action as it goes through its various phases of operation. A0 has been removed. It was removed prior to me getting this action, and it was used to put into a model. So we're showing the next action up from that, next note up from that. As we strike the key, we're going to notice that there's a couple of screws that come into play and perform very important functions. The top screw is actually the screw that kicks out the upper knee joint and causes that joint to go over center, causing the action to collapse. The bottom screw is the stop rail screw, and that screw prevents the driven member from continuing to rotate. This member is the member that drives the hammer shank and the hammer towards the string of the piano. The capstan is physically attached by a clip to the bottom member, so this acts as one continuous system. Now, there's a couple of here we have, well, first of all, I want to demonstrate this special unique pin joint. You can actually see it here rotating in this bakelite impregnated graphite joint. That's a pretty special joint. In any event, a couple of things to note is that this action is somewhat different than the other action that I have. Minor differences, but differences nonetheless. The repetition spring is, as we see here, that's attached into two small holes in the upper and lower members. Does not have any paraffin lubrication, whereas on the Mason and Hamlin action, it does. There's no graphite powder that's used to lubricate the touch rail compensation system on the felt that is used in there and goes against the springs that are under each key. And then there's also there's touch weights that's actually labeled on this touch compensator lever mechanism, which is very interesting. So it goes from 3 ounces on the very heavy side down to about 1.5 ounces. That does not exist. One thing I did discover was very interesting when I decided to film this is that, we'll get a couple keys out of the way, maybe we can see this. This action is actually dated. And I'd never seen that before, but it has a date of January 1929. The 9's hidden by this other member. So I think that this was one of the very early Hickman actions that was put together. And perhaps some of the differences that have occurred between this action and the one that's on the Mason and Hamlin that's under restoration is just due to minor improvements that were made during the course of production. The other thing that I've noticed is that this action being out of the Knabe and the Mason and Hamlin has slightly different hammer shank lengths. It's not very much, but it's definitely there. It's probably only by about 1/8 of an inch. But the Knabe hammers are longer by that amount. Or I should say the shanks are longer by that amount. In any event, this demonstrates what the Hickman action is like in terms of its operation. Stay tuned for other restoration videos on the Mason and Hamlin Hickman action. Thank you.